Hello everyone, welcome to my top 10 favorite video games of all time video. I've been playing video games for almost like my whole life, and I still will be for many years now, and I just thought maybe I'd make like a top 10 list and tell you guys what my top 10 favorite games are. So before we get to this top 10 list, I would like to mention you my honorable mentions, and I do have a lot of honorable mentions for this video, and they're not going to be ranked in any order, but I'll just show you guys what my honorable mentions are in just random orders. So Mario Party 2, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, The Godfather Black Hand Edition, Pikmin, Batman Arkham Asylum, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty World War II, Pokemon Stadium 2, The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King game, The Simpsons Hit and Run, Mario Kart 64, Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Mario Kart Double Dash, Star Wars Battlefront, the 2015 edition, LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga, and my last honorable mention is LEGO Jurassic World. All those games I just mentioned, I have a ton of fun with, but unfortunately they didn't make my top 10 list, but I still really like those games. So here we go, guys, with number 10. My number 10 is LEGO Lord of the Rings for the Xbox 360. This is probably the funnest LEGO game I've ever played. I remember when this game first came out, my brother and we played it every day until we got 100% completion. Like after we did the main story and did all the collectibles, that was just so much fun, and there was just a lot to do in this game, and it's without a doubt my favorite LEGO game of all time, and it stands at my number 10. My number 9 is Skyrim for the Xbox 360. I remember when I first got this game, I didn't get so into it, but as I played it more and more, what I did was I played it for a bit and then I stopped and for a few months, and then a few months later when I played it again, I got even more into it, and it just got really hard to put down, and the exploring and the monster fighting and the dragon fighting and just decapitating the opposition, it was just so much fun, and there was just a lot to do and a lot to explore around and stuff, and that's really all I have to say about Skyrim for now. My number 8 is Super Mario 64 for obviously the Nintendo 64. I did have this game, or I do have it for the Nintendo DS as well, but this is the version I think is like the best, and it feels like a real original Mario game. I mean, no other Mario game, like I played Super Mario Sunshine and like other ones like Luigi's Mansion, if that counts, but they didn't feel too original. This one feels like it's original, and just the music and everything was just perfect, and fighting Bowser was just so much fun, and I always liked going on the Koopa shell and surfing around and hearing that music, that flying music that Mario has. My number 7 is Pokemon Stadium. I absolutely love the first generation of Pokemon. It's just really nostalgic to me, and I I just loved doing like the gym leader battles and everything, and the gym leader castle, like when you gotta face like people like Brock and Misty and LT Surge and all that stuff, and even like the Pokemon, and even like if you had your own Pokemon from the Game Boy games and transfer them to this, sometimes they would appear in brighter or darker colors or even just different colors. And yeah, this is probably without a doubt my favorite Pokemon game for the Nintendo 64. My number six is Pokemon Red and Blue for the Game Boy Color. Yes, I think in this one I'm kind of cheating just a little bit, but not too much because these are pretty much almost like 99% the same game. Just there's different Pokemon in each version and stuff like that. Similar to when I mentioned Pokemon Stadium, it's really fun to do the gym leader challenges and even just face trainers and Pokemon in the long grass. And they say don't go into the long grass. But really, yeah, and as mentioned before, first generation of Pokemon I absolutely love, and I mean, like, what more can I say about these games? They're just places to go, and like going into caves and surfing in the sea just south of Palatown was just a lot of fun, and getting Missigno and getting infinite items for you and your Pokemon. My number five is Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, the only console it came on, I'm sure of. This is another extremely not just fun, but nostalgic game to me. Like, I remember when I got this game in second grade about 15 years ago. Like, I played it with my brother, I played it with my friends, I played it with my brother's friends, and probably the best fighting game I ever played. Super Smash Bros. Brawl was a little disappointing in my opinion, but this game is probably my favorite, like, Nintendo fighting game, and it feels pretty original, and this is probably one of my most nostalgic video games of all time, along there with the Pokemon games, and another game up on the list I'll probably mention pretty soon. But the fighting was awesome, the items were cool, the characters were cool, and the missions were just kick-ass. My number four is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64. This is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time, and I feel like it's nostalgic enough, not as much as some of the other games I have mentioned and about to mention, but it's pretty darn good. I love the world in this game, the temples, the boss battles, those were so kick-ass. The items, the music, everything, the characters, and the enemies, and the mini games and side missions too. This game is just pretty darn good, but there is another Zelda game that I do like a lot more than this up here on this list. But what will it be? You'll have to see. My number three is Red Dead Redemption for the Xbox 360. Probably my favorite Xbox 360 game. I loved the Western adventure and the story. I was so invested with the story of this game. I didn't follow it too much at first, but as I played the game more and more, like, I just got so interested in listening to the story. There's a lot of adventure games sort of like this that, like, the story is just I don't give a shit about, but this game I cared a lot about the story and the characters and the places to go, and the horse riding was just amazing, and the vast world was amazing. The characters were amazing, the weapons were amazing, and I'm so happy that this game is getting a sequel. And yeah, it was going to be at my number 2 spot, but I really think that my number 2 is where it really is at. So so I guess that's all I have to say about Red Dead. Can't wait to get the sequel, and yes, very awesome game. Coming at number 2 is Donkey Kong 64 for the Nintendo 64. This game, another extremely nostalgic game, just like the Pokemon games and Super Smash Bros. Melee that I just mentioned. But this game is probably one of the funnest adventure games I've ever played, and I've had it since I was like really, really small. I think when I was in kindergarten, we got this game, and the levels were just they felt original and very, very fun, and the Kongs were very fun. It was a very funny game too. A lot of the enemies were kind of funny, and just the little side missions and all that stuff was just a blast. Probably my favorite game made by Rareware, like the same company that made the Banjo-Kazooie games, but I never really got into Banjo-Kazooie too much. But this game, it deserves to be at my number 2 spot. Alright guys, you've all been wondering what is my number 1 game. The number 1 game on this list that I put at the number 1 spot. Well, that game is and coming at number 1 is obviously The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. Best video game I've ever played in my life. I honestly adore this game. Like, it's got nostalgia, it's got the fighting in it, it's got like the vast world, the characters, the weapons, the items, the mini games, the side missions. I love this game so frickin' much, honestly. Like, no matter how good some of the new games are today, this game still stands up, and I still play it like once a year or something like that. I absolutely adore this game. I've had it for almost 20 years, and in 2018, November 2018, this game will be 20 years old. But of course, like, when I went onto IGN, this game got like a 10 out of 10, like a masterpiece, and there are not too many games are, in my opinion, are like 10 out of 10s, but this game definitely is one of them. Honestly, like, the villains were, and like the bosses were freaking fantastic to fight. The music, the world, the enemies, and the characters, and it makes me wish that world is real, but it's not real. But anyway, I mean, what more can I say about this game? I have it for the GameCube and the 3DS as well, and can't wait to play it again. Well guys, I hope you all enjoyed my top 10 favorite video games of all time list with the honorable mentions. As I said before, video games have been a big part of my life, and without it, my life probably wouldn't be it would be a bit different, but I'd live, I guess. but really, thank you for watching, and please hit that like and subscribe button. And you can let me know in the comments what are some of your favorite video games of all time. Thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.